Could Starship be used to carry an improved version of the Hubble telescope into space? The last column of the 8th segment for the Orbital Launch Tower has been put into place, as our beloved Franklin crane undergoes further preparations to be extended and made even bigger than it previously was. The thrust simulator already used on previous Starship prototypes seems to have been put under Pad B, which the new Starship SN20 is likely to sit on. These and more news on today's episode of the Space Beetle News. Hello everybody, my name is Hector and welcome to the Space Beetle channel. There was an interesting conversation with Elon Musk on Twitter yesterday, and on one of his tweets he mentioned that the Starship itself could serve as the structure for a more modern version of the Hubble telescope, one that could have 10 times its current resolution. Think about that. Now, this would be definitely awesome to see, since the Hubble telescope is already 31 years old and is currently experiencing some issues. Please don't get me wrong, the Hubble telescope still does a great job delivering amazing images and crucial information from deep space. However, a new upgraded version of the telescope would be sensible, especially taking into account the massive progress in technology that we have had in the last 30 years, and which would definitely help us get even better images and data from the deep space for us to get more knowledge and hopefully get an improved understanding of the universe and how it works, because there is so much stuff left for us to discover, because at the end of the day we only know so much, and some of the things we think we know may be actually inaccurate. So I'm really looking forward for more and better telescopes to shoot up into space sometime in the near future. And this leads me directly to my next point, which is using Starship for deep space missions. Maybe we could use these missions to also put space telescopes similar to Hubble in the orbits of planets much further away from Earth, which would undeniably provide us with much more amazing data about the universe to put our hands on and study. So needless to say, I have high expectations for the Starship program and for the whole space exploration field in the next couple of decades. Next in the news, the last column of the 8th segment for the Orbital Launch Tower has been put into place. This is believed to be the final segment of the Orbital Launch Tower, on top of which will sit a massive crane that will be used to stack Starships onto their super heavy boosters. Meanwhile, the massive Liebherr 11350, also known as the good old Franklin crane, will need yet another extension in order to be able to lift the last segment up to the required altitude. Part of its boom has already been disconnected in order to attach the new extensions, and we should expect it to rise again in all its glory in the coming days. I'm actually wondering if it will be also used to stack SN20 on top of booster number 4 for the first orbital flight, since I don't expect the launch tower to be ready for when it happens, unless the launch gets delayed much longer than expected. Then maybe yes. Yesterday we could observe the thrust simulator being moved from the production site all the way to the launch pad. This simulator has been used to simulate the engine thrust in previous Starship prototypes, lastly in SN15 if I'm not wrong, and right now it seems to have been located under Pad B. Some people were speculating that it could be used for BN3, but from the footage we got from Ocean Cam, awesome work by this guy by the way, I will leave the link to his channel down in the description box. It looks like it will be used for the upcoming SN20, which I cannot wait for to be ready. I really want to see that Starship all covered up in heat shields. Awesome. The work on the Orbital Launch Mount continues, which will hold the orbital launch table and then a fully stacked Starship on top of it. So I'm actually not surprised by the sheer amount of welding that these workers have to do. After all, this thing will need to withstand an insane amount of stress laid onto its structure, so it makes sense. And to finish off today's news report, take a look at this jaw-dropping high-resolution landing footage of the Transporter 2 mission booster. on its way to the landing zone number 1 at the SpaceX facilities in Cape Canaveral. No words to describe it, just breathtaking really. And this is it for today's news. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, that will really help me out a lot. If you don't want to miss any future content from the Space Beetle, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, for there is plenty more to come. Thanks for your time, have a nice day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.